Many parents struggle with finding effective ways to discipline their children. But fear not, because today we're going to talk about effective consequences and how to use them to promote positive behavior in your kids. First things first, let's talk about the difference between consequences and punishments. Consequences are the natural results of a person's actions, while punishments are meant to inflict pain or suffering as retribution. It's easy to fall into the trap of punishing your child when they misbehave, but this approach rarely leads to long-term change. Instead, focus on using consequences that teach your child valuable lessons and help them develop better problem-solving skills. So, what makes a consequence effective? For starters, it should be task-oriented. This means that the consequence is directly related to the offense and has a clear learning objective. Let's say your teenager missed their curfew. Rather than grounding them for a month, have them come home an hour earlier the next time they go out to prove they can be responsible. Once they show you they can do it, you can go back to their normal curfew. See how that works? The consequence is tied to the behavior you want to change. Another key aspect of effective consequences is that they're time-specific. Give your child a reasonable time frame to accomplish the task at hand. It should be long enough to challenge them but not so long that they lose interest or give up. For example, if your child has a habit of swearing, challenge them to go 3 days without using any bad words. If they succeed, reward them with something they value, like extra screen time. This way, they're motivated to work on their behavior and can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's also crucial that consequences are related to the original behavior. If your son is disrespectful to his sister, don't take away his video games. Instead, have him write her a letter of apology outlining what he'll do differently next time they're in conflict. This consequence teaches him the importance of treating others with kindness and respect. Now, I know what you're thinking. But what if my child says they don't care about the consequences? Trust me, this is a common manipulation tactic kids use to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. Don't fall for it. Calmly remind them that the consequences stand, regardless of how they feel about it. And if you truly believe your child doesn't care, it's time to reevaluate the consequences you're using. Choose something that matters to them and will motivate them to change their behavior. It's also important to remember that consequences shouldn't be the only tool in your parenting toolbox. Rewards are just as important. When your child consistently demonstrates good behavior, acknowledge it and reward them accordingly. This could be as simple as praising them for a job well done or giving them extra privileges. By balancing consequences and rewards, you create a more positive and nurturing environment for your child to grow and learn. Now, I get it. Parenting is exhausting, and it's easy to fall into the trap of taking shortcuts when it comes to discipline. That's why I recommend creating a menu of rewards and consequences. This way, you have a roadmap to follow when dealing with your child's behavior, and you're less likely to resort to knee-jerk reactions. And remember, when giving consequences, be firm but not rigid. If you need to adjust a consequence, that's okay. Just explain your reasoning to your child and move forward. Lastly, I want to address the issue of power struggles. Sometimes, consequences alone aren't enough to curb a child's misbehavior, especially if they're constantly butting heads with you. In these cases, it may be necessary to seek outside help, like working with a family counselor or using a comprehensive parenting program. Don't be afraid to ask for support when you need it. At the end of the day, parenting is all about setting clear rules and expectations while also being nurturing and forgiving. Effective consequences are just one tool in your arsenal, but they can make a world of difference in promoting positive behavior in your kids. Remember, the goal isn't to punish your child but to teach them valuable life skills that will serve them well into adulthood. So, there you have it, the right way to give kids consequences that actually work. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content.